Rising to the challenge. Edelwan is ill-pleased with the carelessness of the wench's customers. We all know how it feels to have had one too many. That's why I'll not fault our patrons for much of what goes on at our tables. But is it too much to ask that they keep their belongings on their person when they leave? It wouldn't bother me so much if half of them didn't show up a week later, ranting and raving as if their drunken heedlessness were somehow my fault. Take this impressive-looking journal right here. As oft-used as it seems to be, I've no doubt its owner is tearing up the town searching for his prized possessions. A stranger he was, a swarthy Rogden who enjoyed his drink. Seemed to be getting on well with one of our regulars, Quintana. Perhaps you could still catch up with him and spare me the headache. I'd offer you a free drink, but last time I did that, Baderon docked my wages. Have I seen who? Look, just 'cause I spend more nights at the wench than in me own home doesn't mean I'm mates with every sod who comes stumbling through the doors. Wait a minute, that bloody book. Why didn't you say so sooner? The tight-arse bastard drank 20 flagons and promptly passed out, leaving yours truly to foot the bill. Said he was heading for Alaport. Where else? The scurry sop. Nimmy and willing, he's still stranded at the ferry docks. Though the gods know it won't help me get me Gil back. If you have business with me, be quick about it. My ferry and my next great adventure awaits. My journal? What? I thought I had lost it forever. Pardon my rudeness, friend. Perhaps I should have stopped after 19 flagoons. Ha ha! Did you steal a glance at its pages, perchance? No? A shame that, for this book contains, how might I say it, a record of my numerous adventures. Quite the inspiring read, if I do say so myself. Which I believe I just did. Ha ha! You have the air of an adventurer about you, if one still untested. But take heart, even the most accomplished adventurer, and I speak from personal experience, was once a whelp with more dreams than sense. Were there only some way for me to repay you, but of course, I've a fresh journal right here that might as well have your name on it. Why not keep a record of your own? That way, one day we might regale each other with stories of our deeds. And with that, I shall be off for adventure, and a flagoon of 20 of the realm's finest ale calls me. Fare you well on your journey, and next time you find yourself at the wench, do thank the Ellison fellow for his generosity. Ha ha. He would be thankful if you paid him back, sir. There's not behind these convent doors for a worldly type like you, missus. We're the dutiful sisters of the Edelweiss, all pure and saintly-like. Now bugger off. Hang about, I thought you was just some simple errand lass, but now I've had a proper look, you're Yadalani, aren't you? I knew it! We like to snilch all the rising talent, and from what I hear, you're head and shoulders above the rest. You can handle yourself half as well as they say. You might well be of use to us. Forget all that, sisters of Edelweiss bullocks. It's just a bit of fun to fob off the curious culls. We're a guild of rogues, lass, and it's mainly our Marxist does the praying. Me and mine work in the shadows of Limsa, taking a keen edge to the rooks and crackles what have earned themselves a million. We don't tout for members, but every now and again we might offer a promising young cove a place in the ranks. If you've an interest in joining us, tip us your daddles, and we'll put a hilt in each one, just like the gods intended. So what do you say? Fancy learning a new trade? Good to see you're keen, but I should probably warn you on a few points before you dive in. Where most guilds take pride in turning their members into the best bloody candlestick makers they can be, we only care about getting the job done. And the job ain't pretty. You become one of us, and you'll soon be neck deep in scum and knife bites. So if you're looking to scamper across rooftops and bilk dandles or the blunt, you'd best take up with a different crew. Think on that and come back if you're still keen. My first Daggers, Lone Word would have you reaffirm your desire to join the Rogues Guild. It didn't scare you off then, Bean. It told me you was a meddlesome lass, and so it proves. You'll need every ounce of that metal soon enough. Now step inside and have a prattle with Jack. He's our upright man, the master of the guild. You looking to head inside? Yes, sir. I am the one they call Jack, though I'm surprised you've heard of me. Perhaps you'd be good enough to tell me your name, along with that the kind of cove has told you mine. Ah, the famous Lonnie. Oi, Lonnie left you in, did he? He can't throw a blade for shit, but that one I don't miss not when it comes to sizing up a timber mort for the stalling. Just one thing, you ain't a pirate, are ye? No, sir. Well then, it's time you was stalled to the rogue. Pull on your best beater cases, and I'll swear you in myself when you're ready. Now, I could fill your waddles with the storied history of our guild, but that's just words and wind. The most important thing, the only thing we care about, is getting the job done. Now, most folk, and I am assuming you're young among them, know that not long after Limbs was founding, the city was overrun by a motley collection of pirates and thieves. But as wild as that lot were, it soon became clear that they'd all end up killing each other if they didn't lay down a few rules, an unspoken code of conduct, as it were. 1, you don't bite the purses of your fellow Lamencins. 2, you don't rook a crew out of their spoils. And 3, you don't trade coals like they was chattel. I'll admit the finer points of the code are a mite murky, but most agree on those 3 at least. Now, you might be thinking none of that amounts to a sack of dillberries. Now, the Admiral's outlawed piracy, but in the back alleys and black markets where Merrillwood's grip ain't so tight, the code's still alive and well. And just as the law is enforced by the Yellow Jackets, the code is regulated by us rogues. We go where the shadows are darkest and hand out justice to them as break the code. Some run-soaked cove steals goods from the wrong coal, and we steal them back. That's the job, my natty lass. Of course, we don't hop the twig when blade work's called for, neither. You'll see there's more to our dagger play than just sticking coals with the pointy end. We'll weaken a mark with poison, fade away and strike in the darkments, whatever it takes to get the work done. Well, Yedalani, what do you say to that? Got the guts to do a rogue's job? Yes, sir. Alright then, first off, we'll have to get your kit sorted out. Rogue needs to be light on her dew-beaters to stay on a mark's tail. The job might have you fighting across a deck or weaving through a mob, and the last thing you want is a bleeding great battle axe. Well, hooks itself on every rope and post. That's why we stick to daggers. They let you sleep through the streets just as easily as they slip through a rook's ribs. Here, take these stabbers and let's see how they look on you. Just don't get so excited with your new toys that you forget to dress for the role. You'll be surprised at how many colts come back to me in their bloody small clothes. Oh, I might as well do the first quest. Okay, we'll do the first one. Get it off my board. Stabbers in your fambles. Jack wishes to give you a few pointers on dagger play. Managed to strap those daggers on without cutting yourself. Well, we're off to a good start, I'd say. Next, you'll want to get a feel for the weight and speed of your new weapons. I reckon those beaten cheats in the fields outside Limsa should serve for your first lesson. Aye, test your blades on a few of them lambs and slice up some rats and pugils for good measure. Mind that you mill them beasties one at a time, no less. I know you've served far worse in the past, but you're no dimber-damber with them stabbers just yet. Damn it. You looking to head inside? Yes. Done with your milling, are you? You can never have enough blade practice, lass. In fact, I'll even add a list of marks to your hunting log. Pit yourself against the lot, and you'll soon learn some new steps for your dance with the daggers. Ah, you must think of yourself as a dancer, not a bleeding butcher. You only need so much force to ram a short blade into the hilt. Precision and speed, that's how you get the most out of your stabbers. Bulky armor only have you plodding about like an ungainly auroch, so make sure you're wearing gear what'll let you move freely as well. Alright, get your blade work up to scratch, Hidalani, and I might just have a job for you. A dainty dilemma. Jack appears eager to give you your first assignment. Oh there, Hidalani. I must say you're looking comfortable enough with those stabbers of yours. I reckoned you're good and ready for your first assignment. Ordinarily, I stow me wids and let you get on with your work, but seeing as we only just dragged you into the shadows, there might be a couple things what you ain't yet familiar with. Let's build on what you likely do know, and that's the fact that the Admiral, God's bless her soul, has outlawed piracy in Limsa Lamensa. So why do you think there's still so many sodden pirates in this town? I'll tell you why. It's because there's still one way for them to loot and pillage without incurring the wrath of the law. All you need to do is apply to serve the thalassocracy as a certified privateer. Captain with a privateer's license is free to terrorize the seas till the owl goats come home, so long as he only targets vessels what belong to the Garlean Empire. Of course, considering how bloody vast the Empire is, that's plenty of looting to go around. Crews fill their holds with Imperial plunder, then sail back here to Limsa to offload the spoils, and that's where this particular case went sour. See, this one crew got their frambles on a Magitech device, a firing mechanism to be precise, but was rooked out of their hull by some heavy-handed coves. If you'll recall, that don't sit well with the code. If you're bold enough to rook a pirate out of his due, then you best be prepared for a visit from the rogues. Speaking of visiting rogues, underfoot, over here, lad. I want the pair of you working together on this. Pass sentence on them code-defying rooks and bite back that Magitech part. What's the last need me for? You're in charge of new recruits, ain't you? It's Hidalani's first assignment. You're to go along and give her the benefit of your wisdom. That's when was I in charge of new... Ah, bugger it. So I guess we're to be partners for now. The name's Paramu Haramu, but most of me fellows call me Underfoot. You might seem a touch reluctant, but Paramu's one of our best. You just do as he says and you'll get the job done. Alright then, me young rogue, seeing as this is your first official outing, I want to be sure your dance steps are up to the task. With them short blades, you need to get in good and close to your mark, aye, but we ain't bleeding swads in shining armor, and the lighter kit we wear ain't much protection from a click to the gan. So if you don't fancy spitting blood and teeth, your best defense is simply not being there when your mark wins up to land a nasty clout. Sliding around the flank usually does the trick, but there's some rum thon every rogue should master, the shade shift. Clear your mind and trust in your speed. And you can leave an axe-wielding brute or spell-flinging mage chasing your shadow while you bury your stabbers in his guts. Right now, it's time you put this lesson into practice against some of those Aureliel out in lower La Nicia. Hope you was paying attention last, because those tentacles can pack a wallop, enjoy. Back here. First things first, we need to track down them adult codes what rooked that Magitech gadget. Might be as one of our rogues has heard something. The guild thrives on information, you see. And we've agents scouted far and wide with their glazes keen and their rattles to the ground. Let's pay us a visit to, Idawana the Drowning Witch. Ask her for a weak ale and see what that gets you. I'm not setting you up for a laugh, lass, trust me. Welcome to the Drowning Witch. What's your pleasure, miss? A weak ale. Never in all my days. We may serve some cheap grog in the winch, but not that was watered down. Our usual ale is too bold for your taste. Mayhaps you'd like to order from the underground menu. Aye, there's quite a lot to offer for a customer with your roguish charms. Was there something in particular I could help you with? Ah, the trouble over that Magitech loot. 'Twas not a subtle job. The gang in question is an unusual group of former pirates calling themselves the Dainty Demolishers. You seem to be enamored of court dandy mannerisms and have a preference for seizing Guardian machinery. They're also known for conspiring with goblins. Rumors say that the Demolishers visit a beastman camp in Middle Laodicea to fence their goods. And those goods generally take the form of Imperial technology. I imagine the goblins were rather pleased to take possession of a Mark XL-3 anti-aircraft cannon firing mechanism. You mean to steal the device back? Then your trail leads to the goblin camp in Summerford. Summerford, eh? On your way, lass. Meet me across the river from the camp and we'll plan our next move. Get your noggin down, Yidalani. I've been snitching the action across the way there. No sign of the demolishers, but I did see one of them Gamble Cove stuffing the Garling gadget into his backpack. I knew Idlewild would steer us alright. This is your chance, lass. Clock that gambler gobby and grapple that device. I've lost track of which gob it was, but I'm thinking it's that sod on the left. Just make sure you dance away from any bomb blast, twisting and dodging in the middle of a fireball. Might not save you from getting your eyebrow singed off. That's the way, lass. There was naught for me to do but sit on me daddles and watch, so you've got the goods then. Aye, this is the device, and no mistaken. Let's get it back to the guild, eh? We still owe them demolisher bastards a million, but they'll keep for the now. Here, you should be the one to deliver the prize to Jack. It was your hand what snatched it out of the goblin's paws, after all. Captain, I say, some fiend has perpetrated violence upon our goblin colleagues, whilst we sought but to wet our throats with fine libations. This will not stand, Captain. Our finely filched loot has been pilfered from under our noses. Blast and bother! My blood boils and bubbles at the temerity of this affront. I know not the identity of these audacious buffoons, but they shall be made to pay, and pay dearly. With me, my fine fellows. Huzzah! You're looking to head inside? You managed to grab that firing mechanism yet, Yidalani? Ah, still in one piece, too. You've done well for your first assignment, lass. It don't look like much, but that crew put their lives on the line to cloy this here bauble. You'd be pleased to see it snatched back from the ruffians. You've yet to do for the dainty demolishers, Jack. The job ain't over. You're right, Underfoot, it ain't. You break the code, you face the consequences. Oh, this is not at all what I expected from the inside of a covenant. And who might you be, sirs? Ah, your ignorance is understandable. After all, our schemes are always perfect, our heist impeccable. Shall I reveal our infamous name and drink in your delicious terror? We are deadly, dastardly, and dictionally devilish. Quail before the dainty demolishers. Captain, I say, there's the lass who misappropriated our merchandise. I concur, she's the self-same simpleton whom we trailed unnoticed to this very establishment. Surprise, surprise! Now, my dear dandies, let us not be unpleasant. We should endeavor to resolve this distastefulness without resorting to insults or other less diplomatic methods, at least not yet. You there, yes, the clean-cheeked errand boy. Be a good fellow and fetch me your superior. One of your colleagues has committed a terrible crime against us, and we shall not be leaving until the proper restitution has been paid. Oh, an errand boy now, am I? Tell me, Captain, just what kind of place do you think this is, then? This place? Well, I suppose it's some manner of covenant. The one-eyed doorman named it the Dutiful Sisters of Edelweiss or some such. And you've yet to realize your mistake. Your fate was sealed the moment you dragged your sorry Quarren across the threshold. Are you threatening, boy? I'll have my fellows cut out that impudent tongue. We've exhausted our reserves of dainty today, lads. Show those fraudulent sisters how the demolishers deal with upstarts. You still don't understand, do you? There are but three sorts of calls what the doorman will let pass: clients, recruits. God, spit! I'll kill you all! Didn't your mom teach you not to interrupt a lady when she's talking? You have learned that the third sort of cull is the bullocks for brains mark what marches himself right into the rogue's den. Rogues? But we were so careful! I heard tales in my pirate days, stories about the merciless rats who uphold the code. They weren't called rogues back then, though. The upright thieves they were, the knives in the shadows. You can't be them. You're just trying to scare me, while the captain of the dainty demolishers is not so easily cowed. To the hells with your deceptions. Huzzah! Huzzah for my fallen comrades! Deceptions? Aye, anyone you meet could be a rogue, Captain, even a clean-cheeked errand boy. He's still breathing. Find some rope and string him up someplace in town. And now the job's done. Quite an introduction you had there, eh? Welcome to Lindsay Lamence's ever-churning underbelly, where the thieves shed their skins and become rogues.